Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asim. I'm working as DevOps engineer. Guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how we can set up the multiple environment with ARGOCD, right? And we are going to see some of the stuff regarding the highly available deployment of ARGOCD. And we are going to start with the scratch. I've done some videos with regard to the ARGOCD, Kaniko, GitLab, Jenkins. You can watch those particular videos just as a start. But again, we are going to cover some of the part of the previous videos in this demonstration, right? So let's begin. What I've done, I've created a repository for you guys in the GitLab, and this is the public repo. Some of the repositories which we are going to use in this repo are these repositories, including this one. So all these public repositories are, definitely I make them public, right? So you can download those particular code and stuff and settings. So let's begin. So what we are going to do, we are going to use a blank server Ubuntu box. Either you can use your local Ubuntu box like in VMware or VirtualBox or local machine. So as I'm going to start in this scratch, so I'm going to simply do SSH into this particular machine, right? And let's do that. So we are going to first of all run that particular script. So let me show you that what OS I'm using. So let's do that. So if I do cat etc OS release, right? So this is the server which we are using, 22 LTS Ubuntu. You can use Amazon Linux as well. So what we are going to do, navigate to this particular repository, and we are going to do some of the stuff regarding the installation of kind, which is a Kubernetes cluster, and we are going to set up the highly available multi-node cluster. For instance, we are going to use 3-node cluster regarding the Kubernetes. So what you need to do, simply either you can clone this repository or simply copy this particular code and simply run this particular script. So let's open this in raw, and I'm going to simply copy this particular script, and I'm going to say nano kind.shell, right? So simply copy and paste this guy. So you just need to make sure that if you're using Ubuntu, you should use this particular script. And I'm going to close this guy, right, and navigate back to this original readme MD or this repository, right? So uh, I'm going to press Control S X and save it, make this guy executable and run this particular script. So what it does, it is going to actually do all the installation regarding the not just the kind cluster. It is going to install. Sorry, in this particular previous command, I forget to add X as executable. So if I do ls here, you will see this is now turned green and executable. So it is going to simply install kubectl, Helm, um, and the kind cluster, right? So these are some of the stuff that we need regarding our setup. So it is going to install kind version as well, which is the actually a cluster with kind you can set up to test everything. And we are going to use the version 1.25.9, right? And you can test on any other version, but for this demo, I'm going to do the installation. So first of all, it is going to do the installation of Docker. Currently, it is doing that, and let it finish. So, and once it's gonna complete, what it is gonna do, it is going to set up the installation regarding the kubectl, Helm, and Khan cluster. So let it finish. And till then, I'm going to open and other repositories to give you a little demonstration. So what we're going to do with those. So this is our full repository. This is our application repository, right? And let it open here, and let me close some of the stuff that we don't need right now. So this is our application repository. You can definitely use this repository as a demo and do the testing. So here we have our Docker file, which we need to do regarding the CI part, which we are going to do with Jenkins. We are going to automate the process of automated build, right? And we are going to use these files, and these files are going to be accessible through our Jenkins, which we are going to set up shortly, right? So this is where we are going to set up our CA part in Jenkins, and we are going to use Kaniko. That is very secure to use Kaniko because it is not going to mount your Docker sockets, even at the runtime. Docker is not even available in the latest version of Kubernetes, right? So it is best practice to use Kaniko to build your images in an automated way with the CI. So let's see what is going on with our cluster. And so we are actually provisioning our cluster, right? So first of all, okay, let's talk about other repositories. So this is the one Helm ARGOCD. In this previous, in the previous video, the demonstration I've done with regard to the Helm setup and Helm accessibility. So this is that particular repo. I mean, if you want to see the video with regard to that, how we set up our application through Helm, I've covered that as well. So, but in this demo, we are going to automate the process in a way that we are going to set up multiple environment with Argo CD like dev staging, and we are going to see how we can do the automated image update. So that's why I've given this name Argo CD image tag. We are going to see both processes, like we are going to see how we can automate the process with Helm and use Bash script to automate that particular process, right? So for that, what I've done, I created two directories. So for Helm, what we are going to do, we are going to use this directory Argo CD environment staging and foo.yaml bar.yaml. For that, we are going to first of all deploy our infrastructure through Argo CD with one command, which I've already covered in my previous video. You can watch those, which I've already shown you guys, right? For Argo CD bash, this is our file which we are going to use. So this is the file, which we are going to use regarding the setup with the Helm, and we are going to use the bash scripts. So if you see in this particular directory, you will see the stuff with regard to, um, if you navigate back to this section, okay. Okay, so in this directories, we have this foobar YAML, and if you navigate back to this charts directory, we have these our Helm chart available here, which we are going to do automation, right? So, and then we are going to cover some of the stuff with regard to um, the automated setup of deployment of images through Argo CD, right? So let's the setup complete, and I will be back with you guys shortly. So guys, our cluster is ready. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring that particular context from this remote server to my local machine. You can simply do, bring the context from your VMware or VirtualBox locally as well. So you need to do, similar step, follow the similar steps to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply copy the context right till here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this particular context available in my lens and into my container. So currently I'm using container. So this is my sandbox container. So let me show you this part as well. So if I do docker ps, you see this particular container is running. So I'm going to do exec into this particular container, right? And let's do that. So if I navigate back to this cube directory currently, I do have my previous contacts. So I'm going to simply remove all the stuff from here, right? So Okay, let's bring this guy first of all here. So let me remove the previous stuff which I've done for testing, and I'm going to simply add this context to here. So bring this guy, add this context, and remove the previous stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all pick um the settings. So this is the settings, right? So if you see the dates, this is the previous date. I'm going to remove this file. So currently have this, we have this file. So okay, let's save it and let's try to connect this cluster, but it is going to fail because I need to do SSH tunneling as well. So if I do go if config dot me, right? So it's going to bring my IP here. So I'm going to say first of all nano config, right? And I need to copy this, I mean context here, and I'm going to save it, right? So this is the one. So what I need to do, I need to copy this particular context, right, and make a tunnel to that particular server. I do have access to that. So if I do SSH-NL, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give the same ports 8443 and 8443 to cloud user. This is my IP. Either in your case, it might be the private IP of that VM which you have set up locally. So it's going to ask the password. You have to provide those, provide that password, right? It might be SSH key that would work definitely as well. So in my case, this is the tunnel. Let's try to connect with this guy, and hopefully we should be able to connect with that particular kind cluster, right? So in similar manner, in my container, if I do tmax ls, I'm going to create one session tmax new, call this new session k8, right? So I'm going to do similar stuff. So let me do the copy pasting here. Same command I'm going to run in this session, and I'm going to make a tunnel. So let's do that. I need to provide the password and do the port forwarding SSH tunneling. Press Control B, release it, and press D. So if I do kubectl, you'll get node. Uh, if the context is correct, it's going to bring me all the nodes, right? So you see inside the container, I'm able to access it even with this outside. You see. In my lens, I'm able to access my particular cluster. So now what we are going to do, first thing first, we are going to set up the Jenkins, which we need to do for the CI. So I'm in this main ARGOCD image text. So I've added all the stuff here to make sure everything I followed in sequence. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply copy these particular commands, and we are going to set up this version 4.3.20. So let me show you this particular command. Let me bring myself to here. So this is my directly mounted with the host machine slash MNT, right? So as it is already exists because I've done the testing in this same particular container. Regarding the container working in container, I have created a video. This is the chasm dex of container. So I can access this particular container locally as well, right? So I mean, I can use the browser as well in this particular container. I've created a video. You can watch that particular video. So if I do Helm repo ls, you should be able to see all the repositories which are actually um, used. So in past, I've used these particular repositories. So, but we are currently interested in this repository as it is already existed here, right, with this name. So okay, this has been copied, so I need to recopy again. So this is the help search repo command. So it's going to show you the chart version, the app versions, right? So we are going to be interested in the previous version because I found some of the errors regard to the plugins in this 4.3.24. So that's why I'm going to use this particular version. So because I've already tested it, I'm going to create a directory. A parent directory is going to be Jenkins, and the subdirectory is going to be values. If I do ls, here you see in the Jenkins values directory is created. And one thing I need to tell you that as I've done the mounting, this is available directory, right? So now what we are going to do, we are going to I mean bring these values to this Jenkins file. If you want to do some edit, or you want to customize those particular hand values, you can do that. But we are going to simply do the installation with this command, and let's try to install Jenkins for our CI. So we are going to use this particular version. Currently, this Helm release not available. So what we are going to do, if I navigate to this Helm um, releases, if I navigate to this namespace, you see this namespace has been created because we have intentionally added that particular command to create a namespace as well. You see, namespace Jenkins. If it does not exist, it is going to create that particular namespace, right? So currently it is in the installation phase. If I navigate to the workloads, you see what it does, it is going to create a stateful set. You see, stateful set is going to be available. Currently, it is in pending state. And along with that, by default, you need to make sure you need to update this file size. As this is the demo, I'm going for the default. So by default, it will give you the 8 gigs of size of persistent volume where your persistent data is going to be stored, right? So and shortly, we will be able to see our Jenkins container. So this container is the configuration load, or you can say that the container which is required by Jenkins. So shortly we will be able to see this container is running inside this particular pod, right? So okay, this part is done with regard to the Jenkins, and we are going to now look for the HA setup with the ARGOCD. So I've added all these particular links. You can visit those links. For instance, if you click this guy, you will see the official links, and you can see the HA and non-HA setup. Previously, we have done the installation with Helm. Now we are going to do setup or do the installation with kubectl, right? So you see this part is done regarding the Jenkins pod is now available, and shortly we are going to do the port forwarding. So we are going to create one namespace ARGOCD, right? And then what we are going to do, we are going to simply copy this particular guy. This is the latest uh, ARGOCD HA setup we are going to use. So let's try to do that. I have not done the testing with regard to that, but as far as from the documentation, I saw that we need to have multi-node cluster, at least minimum 3-node cluster. So that's why I've set up this 3-node cluster for this particular HA. So what I'm going to do, I'll navigate to this section regarding the Argo CD and see the stuff with regard to the setup, which is going to be highly available as per this documentation. So we have tried this one. So let's see what's happened shortly. So we need to wait for a while. Till then, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the port forwarding to Jenkins and navigate to the section services and click this guy Jenkins and simply do the port forwarding to 8090. It's your choice. It's going to open the default browser on your host machine as I'm using the Windows. You can use the lens in any OS like Linux or um, Mac OS as well, right? So simply I'm going to copy this guy, right? And I'm going to paste it. So it's gonna prompt me for the password. So what I'm going to do, navigate to the section, right? Click config, click secret, and in the secret section, click this guy, and this is the Jenkins admin password. So I need to copy this particular password, press Control C, Press admin, type admin here and put this guy here. So let's try to access this. Until then, what we are going to do, navigate back to the section where we are going to set up our Argo CD. So some of the stuff, hopefully we can see with regard to that, or in case of any error, we need to check that. So seems like in the status set with regard to the Argo CD has been deployed, and we should be able to see some of the pods are going to be, available in this Argo CD namespace, and some of the stuff is in running state, some of the stuff is in pending state. You see, it has set up Redis HA um, on Dex server and application in highly available mode. So let's see if everything goes well. I should be able to see all the stuff in green. So it should be running, and then we are going to access our Argo CD. So guys, this is the stuff with regard to the setup of Argo CD in Jenkins. Now let's move forward to the other part. So what we are going to do, let me show you that part. So guys, this is our, build repo. And if I navigate to this section, for instance, foo, this is where our Docker file lives. Currently in my, we are going to use this public repo. In past videos, I've shown how you can access those private repositories. So I've already shown you that particular step. So you can watch those particular videos, how we create the tokens, although we are going to create the tokens, private token for our images in the later part of this video, but you can see that particular video as well if you want to see some of the more details regarding that setup. So if I navigate to the Jenkins, what we're going to do, we are going to create a simple pipeline. I'm going to call this tool. Click this pipeline and create it. So we are going to use Git, right? So we're going to click this guy, discard all builds, do not allow concurrent builds, and this project is parameterized. We are going to simply add some of the basic parameter, like let's say I'm going to call the branch, so I don't have to bring myself to this branch. So we are going to use staging branch by default. So in this particular repository, we have dev staging branches, right? So and pro branches as well. So simply I'm going to call this name of the branch. I'm going to add these variables. So these parameters are going to be available. So add one more parameter, and I'm going to call this parameter, let's say Jenkins file. So default value is going to be let's set to this guy, right? And if I do simply paste it, and is I'm going to call this uh, name name of um, Jenkins script, or you can say the Jenkins file, which we are going to use. This is by default, right? Later on we are going to change this. So if you scroll it down, then what we are going to do, simply we are going to say poll SCM. If your repository is not public, you need to provide the credential, but we are going to use public repository, so you need to check this git. And simply what I need to do, navigate back to this section, foo, click this guy, and from here I need to copy this https part. So it's gonna look either this, do we need credential for it? So currently we do not need it, as this is a public repo, right? So I'm going to simply remove this master, and we are going to say the this is the branch as a, branch as a variable, which we have set up as a branch from above. And similarly, we are going to update this part here, and I'm going to say, so we don't need to navigate to this section regarding when we do the build. So I need to copy this name exactly and check the branch branch. We updated the branch variable, right? So this is updated, and we are going to simply update this guy, apply, save, and we are going to do our build. So build with parameters, you will see by default it is going to look to the staging branch. So if you click this guy, you see we have dev and settings. Sorry, we don't have prod branch. So anyway, um, we can set up the multiple branches as well. So I've set up the dev and staging. So Jenkins file is default. So let's try to build it. And if I navigate back to the section. So regarding the Argo CD, our complete HJ setup is now done. I'm going to do the port forwarding shortly. But first of all, navigate to and the Jenkins. I'm going to show you the part that it is going to provision the temporary pods, right? Which are in those particular pods, our pipeline is going to be spin up. So if I navigate to this section, so you will see some of the error which we are going to fix along with that. So it is going to spin up a temporary pod, and we need to some of the errors. I mean, regarding the cloning of repository or whatever we are going to do, we are going to do the live fixing in this tutorial. So we need to wait for a while. Till then, what it's going to do, it's going to provision a temporary pod here, and that in that particular temporary pod, our pipeline is going to be run. So regarding that particular pipeline, I've already um, give detail in my past videos. Previously, we were doing the copy pasting. Now we are providing just the name of those particular files, and we have set up and do more stuff regarding the creation of variables, right? And we are going to call this Jenkins files. So let me give you a little explanation again. Excuse me. So this is the pipeline. We are going to use this YAML file. Kind is going to be pod, and the name of the container, I'm going to give this CloudGeek CI. It is going to pull this a Python Slim image from the Docker Hub repository, right? So, I mean, then we are going to use this image. So it's going to complain regarding that particular secret, which we are going to do mounting. So the mounting of the container is going to be the full GitLab credential, right? So it's going to complain that this container, sorry, these credentials are not created in that particular namespace Jenkins. We are going to fix this. Definitely, we are going to see error with regard to that. You see, currently it is stuck and volume mounting is not going to be happen. If you click this guy, it is actually a describe command actually. So you see it is complaining that full credentials are not found. So what we need to do, we need to create those credentials. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove any existing credentials to make sure I can show you the stuff that what we need to do. This is our repo and right. So I'm going to remove any existing stuff. So right. So why it is asking for these credential, because those credential is with regard to the I mean regist registry in order to access those particular registries. So that's why. So if you navigate to this settings section, click the access token. So I'm going to remove or revoke any existing token. So let me copy this name here, right? So copy this guy, revoke it. So currently, it is actually, I mean, let me show you that part as well. So regarding the error, so navigate back to this section in the pipeline, in the poke pipeline, right? So navigate to the section Jenkins file CA. You see, and these are the credential which are going to be mounted in that particular container Kaniko project for build, because it's need to push those I mean images which are going to be built, and it is going to be push those credentials to your private registries, right? So although repository is public, but in order to push those images to even your registers, you need to have access. So what we are going to do, we are going to create credentials. So we are going to create these credentials with this name. So that's why we are creating it. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to click this guy from owner role. So I'm going to give currently more access, but definitely you can reduce that particular size. So I'm going to say write repository, although it needs to write to the registries, which is the container registry. So I've given the additional access, right? So you can narrow it down. So anyway, what we need to do, we need to update this particular command. What I'm going to do, I'm going to open this in Notepad and I'm going to remove the existing stuff here. Right. So in my README-MD, so let me open the README-MD stuff here. So if I navigate back to the README-MD section, you see I've added those particular command as well. So I'm going to simply copy this particular command, right? And I'm going to paste this guy here, right? So I need to remove this part like username. I've already added this. So I'm going to simply copy this guy. So make sure there are no spaces. Copy this particular section and update this username to give for GitLab credential. Although you can give any name, just I'm giving the same name. So if I scroll it up to this section, right? So you need to copy this guy and paste it here. Then we are going to simply do the copy pasting, and in the namespace Jenkins, we are going to simply create those credentials. So let me show you that part as well. So if I navigate to the credential section, I'm showing you all the step guys to make sure you see everything that what we need. And in case of troubleshooting, you should have everything or every idea regard to that. So we have created those credentials, and let's try to rerun the pipeline again. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply cancel this guy, right? Because it is going to stuck in pending state. I'm going to stop this guy, and I'm going to build with same default parameters. And let's see, in case of any other error, we should be able to see what's going on, and we will be trying to fix those particular errors. So one of the errors is that the credential is unable to found regarding the full GitLab credential which we have provided regarding the mounting in order to push the private images to private repositories. So you see is going to create another pod. So now seems to be in green state, but let's see if everything goes well. So what it does, it is going to, build the pipeline. It's going to pull the images Python Slim, and what it does, it is going to clone that particular foo repository, and it is going to clone that particular repository. In case of error, definitely we need to fix those error, but let's see what's happened next. So it has checked out to this, and we have again error foo repo credentials, right? So it is now complaining regarding the foo repo credentials. The pipeline fails. What we need to do, we need to update these credentials. So this complaint is with regard to this section, foo repo credential, in order to clone that particular repository. Although it is public repositories, I can remove this section. It is going to clone that. But in order to say in production environment, you create those private repositories. So this is a demonstration, but I'm going to show you all the steps that you need to do. For instance, in order to make that, assume that this is the private repository, that's why I'm going to make those credentials, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate to the section credential. I'm going to add those particular credentials, right? Right. So click this global, and I'm going to add credentials. So it's gonna be secret text, right? So Secret ID is going to be foo repo creds. Assume that this is the private repositories. You need to um, provide those credentials, right? So simply copy this token, which we have already been set up. So that's why we actually have provided additional write access to make sure that Jenkins should be able to clone it. Click this guy and let's try to restart from this build foo with Kaniko. So let's see if we see any errors. We have previously fixed those particular errors, but now we can see the provisioning of pod again in Jenkins. You see that turned green, so it is able to find those credentials, and our pipeline has begun again. So let's see, it is going to hopefully able to clone that particular repository by using those tokens. Seems like it is able to clone those, although it is a public repo, but we have assuming and set up in a way that it is going to access that particular private, repository with tokens, right? So it has been cloned, particular repository, and it is going to build our CA part with Kaniko, right? So it has found this particular file, Docker file, and it is going to then push those particular image to our uh, registry. So previously I've done the testing regarding the foo. If you click foo, right, and if you navigate back to the section like deploy and container registry, you will see that if you click this guy, although I've done a lot of testing with foo, but you will see the stuff with regard to the mate, for instance. If you click next, previously lots of images has been built. You see published just now. So previously we have done the videos, previous videos, but this pipeline number three, we are using this tag number, and it has been pushed successfully. So this is our part regarding the CI. We have successfully automated the part of CI process. So let's navigate or move to our next part. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate to the ARGOCD, and I'm going to do port forwarding. So navigate back to the section regarding the services. In ARGOCD, we have these services. So this is the ARGOCD server. So I'm going to port forward to let's say 8095, and we need to access this particular Argo series server. And what we're going to do, we are going to provide, we are going to first of all bring this guy to same um, location. My default browser is Bing, so I'm going to bring this guy here. So it's going to ask me for the password. So navigate back to the section config secret. You will find initial admin secret. This is the secret. I'm going to press Control C to copy this guy, and simply I'm going to type admin here, and let me do admin here, right? So I'm going to do sign in. Then we are going to do add the repositories. So you can add those particular repositories through the command line. I've added the documentation here, readme.md. I mean, you can use the deploy keys as well to only access those particular repositories, right? But in this demo, we are going to use HTTPS. So navigate back to this section, settings, click repositories, connect to the repos. Um, So we are going to use HTTPS for the quick demonstration, right? So we are going to add all these three repos here, and let's do that. Project is going to be default URL, this one, and true, we need to provide this particular token because we need to actually GitLab later on needs to access this particular repository to push the images or update the images or to pull the images from this repository. So I need to provide the username. I mean, I need to provide this username. username is going to be the name of that particular token which we have set up. So let's try to add that and simply copy this guy, right? And simply add this token, try to connect, and there is a failure, right? So we need to, let's try to remove it. Okay, let's try to connect it again and let's try one more time and hopefully we should be able to access this particular repo. Might be done some wrong in the copy paste, or might you see the wrong URL I've added. You guys have more idea anyway. So what I'm going to do, navigate to this foo repo and just try to make sure now from this section, I'm going to copy this guy and I'm going to paste the URL, right? And let's try to connect. So this time is successful. So anyway, this is the first repo we have added, and we need to add the repo with regard to the previous video, because the bar application which I've set up is going to be like um uses the public registries, Docker registries, which is not actually a part of this demo. So what we are going to do, we are going to simply add this repo without any, credentials, but the Helm repository, the image take repository, we are going to add with credentials, right? So this is done, but regarding this, let me close this stuff. We don't need this anymore, and I'm going to show you later on. So we have set up the fresh credential for this guy, and now what I'm going to do, remove some of the stuff which we have already discussed. So now this is the image tag repo. Now I'm going to simply do click this guy and add this repo. But definitely, as I discussed, I need to add the credentials in order to push those repos. So uh, navigate back to this section, and I've added all the stuff for you guys regarding the commands needed. We need to add the credentials. So first of all, what we are going to do, navigate to this settings section and click the access tokens, right? In the access tokens, what I'm going to do, I need to provide this credential, but I'm going to create a very fresh tokens here to make sure that you guys have understanding. So click this guy. I need to provide, I'm going to add this write repository and read registry as well. So because later on we need this, because ARGOCD image updater is going to read that particular registry. So that's why we need it. And for Helm, we need to write access in order to push those our images as well. So um, although we are doing the stuff regarding the write from the CI, so we only need this um, two stuff. So in case of any error, let's see what happened. What we are going to do, um, we are going to use this username and password. So if I navigate to the README section here, I'm going to create the credentials shortly, but in order to use the UI, we need to provide this username ARGOCD, right? ARGOCD, and this password is going to be required. So although this is public, I already discussed that it needs to push those particular images. That's why we need these credentials, username and password. So let's try to connect with this repo. We have added all these three repos, and now what we are going to do, right? We are going to set up our infrastructure. So navigate back to this section, application, right? So if I navigate back to this section, I have added all the details what we need to do. Regarding the ARGOCD image updater credential and namespace ARGOCD to read application Git private registry. We are going to use this credential. We need to use, this particular command. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create this particular credential, right? So I've added two different names to give more understanding that why we need it. Even the Argo CD image updater needs credential in the namespace Argo CD to write to Helm repository. So these are two different repositories. You need to make sure you need to make sure you have these understandings. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this particular guy, and these are not valid tokens. So we need to simply create those. So this is the book GitLab credential in order to read the registries, right? So in upper stage, we have set it up. So what we are going to do, full GitLab credential name is correct, but we need to simply update the password. So hopefully I've added all the stuff and to give you guys understanding that why we need these credentials. These credentials we are creating regarding the read registry, read private registry, right? So let's create those in the namespace Argo CD. So, and then we are going to add one more credential here in order to write to Helm repositories. So this is our Helm repository, right? So we need to um, add these credentials. So definitely we need to update these credentials. So the name is going to be, which we have already set up with the name ARGOCD, right? But these credentials or tokens needs to be this one. So copy this guy and I'm going to paste this guy. So these are actually two different tokens from two different repositories. So this is repository, our full repository. This is our Helm repositories, right? So this is some of the confusing parts. So that's why I've added and all the details that you need to know regarding that. So even I've added some of the links that regarding the issues and other stuff. You can watch those links because the length of the video is going to be too long. Then we are going to add one more credential in order to which are required because uh, foo staging environment is going to be which we are going to use the staging environment, and for the foo application it needs to pull those particular images right in those particular pods. So we need to add these credentials as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply copy this guy and paste below this. So and we need to update. Sorry, we need to update these credentials. So Foo GitLab credentials, and I'm going to copy this guy and I'm going to paste this here. So these credentials are actually in the Helm charts. So let me show you that why we need it. It's going to pull those images in the Helm chart. So if I navigate to the section in the Foo, sorry, in this Helm chart. So in this, we have directories apps, and navigate to the app section in charts, navigate to the Foo, right? So if you navigate to this charts section, staging values we are going to use, and if you scroll it down, the image post secret is going to be full GitLab credential, right? So that's why we are adding it. So we are going to simply create these credentials, right? So let's try to create it and paste it here. So okay, foo namespace, foo staging is not there. So let me show you that particular part. So hopefully I've added the command to create a namespace. That is very simple. kubectl create ns with a namespace foo. So okay, scroll it down. So what we are going to do, what you need to do like this, kubectl create namespace, this particular namespace which is unable to find it, and do that, press the arrow key up and run this particular command. So this namespace is going to be, I mean, created, and that particular secrets are going to be available, right? So this part is done, and now what we are going to do, we are going to navigate back to our Jenkins, and we are going to update some of the part with regard to the pipeline. So navigate back to this full repo. Here we have this ARGOCD Jenkins file, and then we have Jenkins Helm CD file. So first of all, I'm going to click this guy, and let's try to copy this guy. Let's try to build with this and see in case of any errors. So that is not related to I mean Argo CD. You can, if you want to build your application with just Helm and you don't want to use Argo CD, how we can do that? I this part I've also covered in my this video. So we are going to use Jenkins Helm CD. Let's try to build it and see in case of any error. So, and then we are going to see some of the stuff regarding that in file. So we are going to use the CI part, and we are now looking for the automation regard to the CD part. Regarding the CD part, what we are going to do, we are going to actually, you see, added one more container with the same name, with the same, I mean, image. I've added the new name here, and we are going to do CD part. And regarding the CD part, what it is going to do, it is going to clone this Helm repo. And in order to clone this repo, it is going to complain that it is unable to find these credentials. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this guy, and we are going to use those particular tokens to download those particular repositories, because it is going to clone that. And on the basis of branches, currently what we have dev branch, we have staging branch, and we have the main branch, which is our production branch, right? So if the branch is going to be, this is the regex which we have set up, and I'm going to say the branch is branch, and it is going to say if the branch is dev, do the Helm upgrade to charts who values dev values.yml. So if I navigate back to this section in the directory, right? So if you click apps in the chart section, let's say we talk about the foo, we have dev values.yml, pod values.yml, staging.yml, values.yml. So it's gonna do that, but it is going to be fail because it will not able to clone that particular repository, right? Because you see these credentials are not there. Again, we are going to move this to this section, credentials, and we are going to create a secret token here, like secret text, and ID is gonna be this one. Description I'm going to give same. And regarding the Helm, you see we have this Helm, the token we have just created, and we are going to copy this particular token here, and we are going to create that particular secret, and we are going to create it. Let's try to rerun it and click this guy, and let's try to, I mean, build with parameters again. And I need to definitely update this particular file. This is the default file, but this time I need to use this particular file. So I'm going to provide this. We are actually overriding that variable with this in order to make sure that we use this file. Otherwise, we need to configure, click configure. Instead of doing that, we have set up the variables here, right? And we are using those particular variables. So click this console output, and let's see in case of any other errors. So in this particular pipeline, what we are doing the installation of Helm. Although you can use your container where you don't need to install any Helm or other dependencies like curl or whatever Git. So you can build your own container, whatever might be public, and push to your public repositories. It is going to pull that particular container. In that particular container, you will find every packages. So as this is the demo, I'm going to you. I mean, as we are using the Python Slim, it does not have Git curl. I'm going to show you the installation. It is on the fly. It is going to create a pod. So if I navigate to the Jenkins and navigate to the pod, you see it has provisioned the pod. it's going to do the installation of those packages and remove those. But technically in production, you want to make sure that your pipelines are fast. I mean, in the dev environment, you don't want to do this installation part. So as we are doing here, that's why I'm saying you some of the stuff that is actually not part of your should not be a part of your pipelines. Now we have error with regard to the service account. You see, if I navigate to service account Jenkins default, so forbidden. So we are using this repo full staging. If I navigate to this full staging, and if I navigate here, access control account, service account, you see this by default has a service account and the name of that particular account. So it does not have access to that system service account issues with regard to that. So now what we are going to do, navigate to our image tag, right? So here in this particular image tag, we need to fix those errors regarding the Jenkins controller. So, and hopefully I might be added commands, but yeah, this one. So in the namespace previously I've added hello. We need to update the namespace, right? So this namespace is not correct because I've used the previous video command. So you see it's unable to find it. So what we need to do, we need to provide the right namespace, which is okay. So to staging. So simply update this guy, and we are going to do the role binding, right? With that particular service Jenkins account, which you already set up to bind that with default account. Now let's try to rebuild it, and hopefully we should be able to fix it instead of providing the values again. We are going to do the restart here. Let's try to build with same parameters, right? So click this guy, and if I navigate back to the console output, let's see. It's going to provision pod again, temporary pods in the Jenkins, right? So see, it has provisioned those. So we are now running our pipeline again, and hopefully that particular role binding is going to fix those issues, right? So, and we are going to use Helm regarding that, and if the pipeline is going to successful, it is just not a CI. We are covering the CD here as well, and CD is with regard to the automation. We need to use Helm here because we are not looking to use ARGOCD, and how we can use our updated pipeline using Helm. I'm actually covering that part as well in this particular video. So it depends, like as I shown you, if the environment is dev, it is going to update the staging values.yaml. If the environment is if the environment is dev, it is going to use the dev values.yaml, and if the environment is staging, it is going to update the staging values.yaml. Right, prod, it is going to, you see, branch is staging. Release foo is not there, but what it does, it is going to deploy that particular release with branch name is staging, and it is used those particular file with the staging values.yaml. So okay, so let me show you that part. So if I navigate to this section to staging and navigate to the Helm release, all right, releases section one. Application has been deployed, right? And on the basis of branch, so let's simply do stuff to see our commands are going to be available, right? So scroll it up, and you see this is the branch is staging, and it is going to use that particular branch to update the staging values.yaml, right? So that is how we can create on the automated CI and CD through Helm if you don't want to use the ARGOCD. And now let's navigate to the other part. So what we are going to do, we are going to simply first of all remove this particular release because we don't want to see this stuff again and again. And now we are going to use the ARGOCD part. So with regard to the ARGOCD part, this is the last section of our video, but I'm going to cover two aspects here. We are going to automate through simple bash script as well. I mean, if you want to update our image tag through bash script, we can do that as well. So let's try to see, navigate back to the foo, and this is the last part which we are going to see. This is the file which we need to use, and let's try to bring back to this guy, and let's try to build with parameters. And I need to update this part and see in case of any error we are going to fix those. And let's see, till then we are going to see what is this, what we have in this file. So what we are going to do, we are going to use the same stuff regarding the CI part. It's going to build the image and push to our registry. And we are going to use Kaniko, right? And for GitLab credentials. Then we are going to do the CD part. It has these credential, right? Right. So, I mean, sorry, this is the CD part. So it is going to clone this particular repo. We added these credential, right? So it is going to clone this repository on the basis of branch. If I'm echoing it, if the branch is branch, what it is going to do, it is going to CD into this particular repo, CD or CD, I mean, image dash tag. So then we are going to do, we are going to make this guy executable, right? So if I need to show you, this is our ARGOCD image, and if I scroll it up, if you click this guy in the apps, it is going to clone that. In C, in this tag, we have two directories, foo and bar. We are interested in this section. So if I am looking to update my image tag with this script, what it's going to do, simply I'm using this bash scripts. So if this the branch is dev, it is going to update the dev values.yaml file. What we are doing here, actually overriding the file, we are going to actually override all the values. With regard to the tag, we are using this positional parameter which you can use in bash script, and I'm going to show you that particular part. So in this script, you see this positional parameter is the build number which we are going to use. We are actually providing that. So we are going to use this bash command. So it's going to do exit in case of any error. So we are going to make this guy executable, download it, and do the build number, and it is going to do the commit to our this particular repo. And on the basis of branch of foo, if the foo branch is dev, it is going to update the values.yaml. But if the foo branch is staging, it is going to simply update the staging values.yaml. That's what we want, because we are using the staging branch by default, right? So in case of main branch, deploying to production is not allowed, so it's going to simply do nothing. Definitely it's going to echoing this guy, right? So let's see what happened. Pipeline is successful, and let's see what happened. Actually, let me show you this particular path. From end, we are going to use, we are going to see, you see it has done the commit. So let me cover this part step by step. So if I navigate back to this section, if you navigate back to the code and see the commit, it has done the commit. You see 1 minute ago, application image tag updated to 7. You see, this is the tag number 7. We are actually doing automated way regarding the updation of our image tag through this particular bash script. So you see, if the branch is actually staging, is not dev. So if the branch is staging equals staging, this still mean any branch like staging dot 1.2 or whatever we have name, it is going to use those particular names. So anyway, this is gonna be something which we can automate through the bash scripts as well. So if I navigate back to the section, click this start, I mean releases, let me navigate back to the section pod, And okay, let me show you that part. So it has done the commit, but it has done it. You see, the pod is not available inside our foo staging because we have not set up those particular application. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply clone this particular repo, right? Which repo? This one. So that's why it's unable to deploy the stuff because it has updated that particular stuff. But ARGOCD is the GitOps tool. What it does, it is going to look for those stuff in Git, although it is there, but application set is not set up. So what we need to do, we need to set up infrastructure, which we have already shown you regarding the dev and staging. So I'm going to do the clone into this particular container, which is mounted on my host machine. If I scroll this down, so this is the one which we have actually cloned from inside our container, this one. So I'm going to cd into this ARGOCD image tag, and I need to navigate to the app section, right? So, okay, let's do ls. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this batch staging YAML. So let me show you, this is a different file I've added. So previous one I've hold it. So let me show you from this stuff here. So you need to navigate to the app section. We have this ARGOCD batch staging YAML. We are going to use this file. So what it does, it is going to create apps of apps application set, which is going to actually look for the apps ARGOCD environment staging. So let's try to simply do kubectl apply -app and use this guy. What it does, it is going to create applications and the staging environment. So you see in this particular section, we are actually calling this apps ARGOCD environment staging. So if I scroll it up, navigate to the app, we are talking about this directory ARGOCD environment staging. In environment staging, we have these two files. So navigate to this section, you see foo bar, and it has actually what it has deployed. So navigate to this section and see which tag it has actually deployed. So you see 12. So why it is deployed as foo 12? Because in that particular stage, I mean, for instance, let's try to rerun this particular script again. Okay, so let's try to update this, and also we need to check what is going on with our Helm. So okay, so if I navigate back to this section, and what I need to do in order to check what is actually apps charts in foo. Okay, so I need to check this my staging values.yaml file. So we have this tag 7. So now let's try to rebuild this one, right? So okay, staging, and let's try to build this guy. And here actually we are using, let me show you that here we are using the Argo CD part here. So this part is going to actually with tag.shell, it is going to update and the food tag.shell. So it has actually updated this particular part to if I navigate to this section, you see the staging values.yaml updated 6 minutes ago, and the tag is going to uh, do this tag. And let's see, in case of any error, let's see what happens. So see application image tag updated to 7. Guys, this is what we have actually deployed through I mean our bash script. So we need to wait for a while. So That till then I'm going to pause the video, right? So what it does, it is going to update. I mean, our pipeline is in running state, and in fact, it has been successfully completed, right? And in case of any error, we need to check this guy. So if I navigate back to the section um, in the apps, right? So if I try to refresh this guy, it should be updated to 8. So, but okay, I need to navigate to the repositories and okay, navigate back to the section commit, right? So currently, we are looking for the commit, and so we need to wait for a while, right? I will be back with you guys shortly. Sorry, guys, the issue is that I've not seen this. I mean, you guys might definitely seen it. So I've built with this Jenkins file default, and I need to update this value to this file, and that's why we don't see any commits here. So I need to update this or override this default value. I need to build with this guy. So it's going to use that particular Jenkins script, right? So I need to use that. I just, I mean, quickly or blindly click that particular build and look for the stuff. So what it is gonna do is gonna look for the stuff with regard to the, I mean, tag.shell, and it's going to do the commit here. And if I navigate back to this section here in the commits, we should be able to see a new commit with regard to the tag 9, right? So currently, our pipeline is running. It is going to do the build, and then it's going to do the CD part, which is going to do with ARGOCD. And in this section, we are actually doing the update to tag.shell, which is the bash script. So, and that is going to be based on the basis of environment, might be dev or staging, right? Or main, which is related to production. So it is success, and you see one file has been changed, and this um, okay, let's try to refresh it, and we should be able to see this tag 9, right? And regarding the file change, if I navigate back to the section in the Argo CD and in the app section and this section, foobar YAML, right? So, oh, sorry, Helm charts. So foo and staging values dot YAML, you see just now it has the tag 9. And let's try to refresh it. If it is actually looking that particular file, I need to check. It is going to see, I mean, it's going to update that particular tag. So navigate to the section. By default, it will take 5 minutes. So let's try to update, I mean, refresh every file. So it has now started. It will take some time. It is now refreshing, and let's see. Do we have our updated tag? So if I navigate to foo, and you see application image tag updated to 9, and let's try to check if I provided the right values. You see currently it is using this particular uh, image, like I need to check with regard to that. So because uh, it should be looking that particular file. So okay, do the sync. Okay, image tag updated to 9, and let's see. Okay, I need to check for this section. Also, I need to check the full name staging. You see, that particular board is already running. Might be I need to check the Helm releases. Those are not there, right? So let me bring, let me get back to you guys shortly regarding this error. So guys, issue is this. I've done the testing with the in past with the ARGOCD image updater. So issue is this. You see, this is the image tag values. It is deployed with ARGOCD. So it is actually currently looking for this directory. You see, if I scroll it down, so what I need to do, I need to remove this particular directory. So what Argo CD image updated, which we are going to be cover shortly, and this is going to be our next part and last part. So that's why we are unable to see the updated images. So you need to make sure you should be able to, remove this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply, remove this particular file, right? Move to cycle bin, and if I do git status here, and let's try to say git status. Let's say git add and see status. I'm going to do one commit here, which is going to be which Argo seed is going to be looking that as a GitOps approach. So I'm going to say that uh, file removed created with created automatically by Argo CD image updated. Although we have not set up the Argo CD image updated, but you see it has looked for those particular stuff. So um, definitely I need to do a git pull as well to make sure that because bash script updated our file, so I need to accept that particular change, and then I'm going to do git push, right? So let's do that. So now what I'm going to do, let's try to might be refresh, or I'm not sure about it, but definitely I'm going to rerun the pipeline and let's see what happened. So, but let's see what happened. It's going to do the sync, and if it is going to do the sync, and you see that particular issue seems to be now resolved because that particular pod is now going to be destroyed. You see, it is destroying that particular pod which is created by that particular file, and it has provisioned that. So definitely now let's try to see what we have. You see the image number, so might be I'm able to scroll it down. So this is the image number we need, and I'm going to simply remove this particular stuff here, and so you see it has recreated that particular stuff. So that's why we need to get rid of those particular sections. So as Argo CV, that's why where we are actually facing that particular issue. Let's try to rebuild our pipeline again, and let's try to do copy this command, and I'm going to do the build with parameters. We are going to use staging branch. Let's try to rebuild again, and as we are using the tags.shell, let's see what happened now. It is going to be our 10th image, right? And let's try to remove the extra stuff here, and let's try to see what's happened this time. So we are doing the automated build again, and in case of any issues, mm, we see hopefully we don't have any issues, but definitely what it does, it is going to do a commit here. So let's try to access this guy. So guys, let's see what happens. Seems to be our build is completed, and let's try to see what we have in our new commit section. So it should say image tag updated to 10. Navigate back to the section. Let's try to do sync of application. I need to, let's say I've selected all, and let's do the manual sync. Although as I discuss by default, it will take about 5 minutes. Let's try to close it, and let's try to see what we have. So it has updated image tag to this guy, and let's see what we have in our image token. So let's see. This issue seems to be fixed, and you see 25, 27 seconds ago, we have our updated tag. So similarly, you can do use of automated deployment through ARGOCD. You just need to update that particular dev values according to the environment. So I've already shown you how we can update through update according to the environment if dev and to update the dev values.yaml file if the environment is staging. You can use the staging values.yaml file. In production, we are looking to do the manual build. So we just need to do one commit according to our best tag. We need to, after do all the testing, we need to deploy that particular tag, right? So now in the last particular part, so although I know the video length is quite long, but and this I'm showing you some of the stuff with regard to the debugging as well. That's why it is taking that much time, right? So now we are pretty much in the last part of our section. So this is we are added. You can add those private keys if you don't want to use the UI. You can use through the CLI as well. You can do that. So now what we are going to do, we are going to use the installation of Argo CD image updater. Currently, we don't have any Argo CD image updater. So let me first of all simply remove these applications. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say kubectl delete this file, and the name of the file is argocd bash staging. So we should be able to get rid of all three applications because we added the finalizer. So if I navigate to this section, click application, you see everything is removed also from the Kubernetes as well because we have added the finalizer, which I've already covered in my previous video. So now what we are going to do, we are going to definitely use the CI. Let's say build by default, we are going to do CI stuff. So we are going to build with parameter. Now we are going to do simple staging CI, right? And as we are going to use the image updater, it is going to look to our private registry, which is actually this one. So we are only doing this part now, CI, which is going to be the image build and push to registry. Registry is this one, foo. And if I navigate to the foo, and this is our registry, which I've already shown you guys. Navigate back to deploy. Um, sorry, container registry, and it is going to push the image to our this registry, and definitely it's going to override that particular image tag. Whatever we are building, it is going to override the image tag number 11, right? So it is going to shortly update or override this particular tag. So anyway, now what we are going to do, we are going to focus on the last part, which is this directory. So let me show you from the UI. Right, so navigate back to this section, and I've created a separate directory where we are going to use the image updater. So ARGOCD image updater, ARGOCD environment staging. We are going to simply create our environment with similar command, and here we just need to simply update our path. But the difference here, we need to have additional annotation regarding our registry. So this is our registry which we are going to use, which I've already shown you. Image, Helm image repository. You need to provide the exact same values. So image updater pod is going to read that. Image tag is going to be whichever it is going to pull from that registry. We are going to use the strategy latest, which is going to be the latest image in our registry, which is going to be, which we are setting up in automated way, which is going to be the tag 11 successfully done, right? So then force updated true, and these are the credentials which we have already set up in the start of our video regarding the Helm repo threads, but because it is going to make an entry which we are actually facing error few moments ago, that it is going to create that particular file, and that particular file is going to add entry, and we are going to use main branch because this is the branch of the Helm repo, because we don't have any branches there. We have only the main branch there, right? So hopefully you understand this part, and we other settings are pretty much same, but you need to understand those settings and the credential which I've already shown you how I created. So let's try to first of all deploy that image tag updater. So um, navigate back to the section. Currently, let me navigate back to the ARGOCD, as this is the last part, right? So what we are going to do, navigate back to this section, image tag. We are going to set up, see what is the latest in image tag update, right? So I do have idea to show you Vietnamese seal secrets, which might be the next part of the video, but this video is going to be too much lengthy. That's why I might create a new video for that. So anyway, let's finish this part. What we're going to do, we are going to set up the image tag updaters. So I'm going to simply do copy paste these particular commands, and these commands are going to be, we're going to add repos. We are going to update our repos, right? So it's going to update all the repositories. So repo do ls, you will see, show just a minute. So image updater is gonna be like okay, so in Argo, right? So okay, we are going to search ARGOCD. So yeah, this repo. In ARGOCD, what we are going to do, we are going to use this particular Helm, and the chart version is this one, which we are going to use, right? And then what we are going to do, we are going to show the values. We are not actually going to override any of the values here, right? So let me do and navigate to slash. Okay, from here, let me. Okay, that's fine. Okay, just add one more shell. I'm going to do docker exec into that particular container sandbox, and do okay, do those show values. These are the values, right? And as I discussed, I'm not going to override any values. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create one directory, argocd. Let's see. We don't have any directory here. The parent is going to be argocd, and the child is going to be values. So I'm going to put all the values in those particular directories, although we are not looking to override any stuff here. So if you want to override, you can definitely do this way, but this is the values file which we are going to use, right? So ROCD image updater, which you've created from the above command, and this is the version we are looking to use. So we are going to, you see, deploy Argo CD image updater, navigate to the section Helm releases here. So click this releases. Shortly you will see that one release is going to be, this is our first release, which is going to be the Argo CD image updater. And this, what it does, it is going to deploy a pod here shortly. So we have a lot more pod here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click this guy, although this is the pod. Click this section and you'll see this is the, according to the time, this is the latest part. So how you can easily do the sorting in this lens. So this is our pod. Once it is going to ready, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the updates. sorry, I'm going to open the logs of this particular file. So, I mean, okay, this part is done. Now what I'm going to do, I need to create that particular application set. So if I do ls here, previously we have done the bash. So I need to do kubectl apply kubectl apply this particular stuff. So I've already shown you the annotations, what it is image updater is going to look for in case of any error. That log section will tell us that hey, you have issues. So you see finished caching payload and entries from one of the registries. You will see shortly the logs are going to be populated here. Let me do this part. And if I navigate back to the section, right in the ARGOCD, new application should be available. Let's try to see. And it says synced and foo. We are actually only focusing on the foo application, although bar is available, but it is using the different repository, so I've not updated it. You see, if you hover it, this is the repository which is using the public images, but this is the repository ArgoCD image updater using those foo private registries. So if I click this guy, right, so and if I click this, scroll it down, click this guy, and you will see shortly what is going on. So 410, it is actually is looking at, but now what we are going to do, we are going to do the CI build. It it hasn't looked, it has looked whatever in the Git state at that time because. We are going to use, update our registry, which is the GitLab registry. It is going to do the build, and let's see what we have in our log section. So application one image is considered one, skipped zero, image is updated one, tag zero. So, and let's see what happened. So what it does, it is going to actually look or poll that particular private registry, and then it is going to also uh, do cloning of Helm repo. It is going to clone that, and it is going to make a commit on that particular Helm repository, right? So if I navigate back to the section code and commit, right? So you see this build automatic updated for 1 minute ago. So okay, and let's try to refresh it, see what's happened according to this update. See, sync has been started, and you will see that particular commit, and something is actually happening. You see deployment of new pod. Let's try to see this particular pod in the post staging, and you see it has been deployed a few seconds ago. So let's try to see what is the status of that particular image, and it should be able to see one commit, and you will see that particular, you see git push origin main, you see, and it has done that. So this is how the main updater work. We are using, you see, private we are using the ARGOCD image updater, and it is how you can use do polling of private registries and update by doing the commit in your repositories, right? So let's try to see one more time. This is the image it has built. So it is going to actually poll that particular image. So I've opened those particular logs. So previously we have this image deployed, and let's try to see what's new. So this will take some time. It is going to poll your registry on continuous basis, and shortly you will see the new logs, right? So we need to be a little patient with regard to that, and let's try to see that. it should be able to see the new image. So previously what it has done, you see initializing to this, and you see foo tag successfully update image foo tag to um, registry GitLab foo tag 11, and shortly it should be able to see the new stuff, and we need to wait for a while. And what it does, it is going to then upgrade the image of tag 11 to 12, right? And then it is going to do the commit, uh, and we should be able to see our application. So currently this process will take some time, and you will see some of the logs with regard to that, right? So, okay, so this part is done. Currently, if I do refresh, or you can say that you see build automatic update of foo, this authored by no reply, and you see done the automatic foo tag to 11, and let's try to do do sync here, although with thing is automated, but we need to do it quickly. Let's try to do the syncing, and auto sync is enabled, right? So, okay, check the logs one more time, and shortly we will be able to see some of the stuff with regard to the newer image. Till then, I'm going to pause the video, and I will be back with you guys shortly. So, guys, I've waited for about 7 minutes, I guess. I need to check whatever the default time it is. It is not able to pick this. So, 12 image. Let's try to build one image again from, automated way. It is going to build the image and push to our registry. So, let's see what happened. Although I'm not able to get anything with regard to this. After 7 minutes. So you see, because the flow staging seems to be running the same, and the image updated to 0. So I'm again building the stuff, and let's see what happened. It is going to pull that and do the stuff here in Jenkins. So previously, if you navigate back to the section, like this is the commit it has done, right? So by ARGOCD image updater, so it has been about 10 minutes. So, and let's tell them what I'm going to do. I'm going to open a directory, and what it does, you see, previously the issue we have fixed. So if you navigate to the apps, and here in the, sorry, in the chart section, in the foo, this file actually, it is created about 10 minutes ago. So let's see what happens. So let's try to look for the Jenkins. Our build number 13 is about to finish, and it has finished. So let's see, wait for a while, what we have in our logs. So we need to wait for a while. So it is the fresh build, so it should look for those, newly updated images. So I will be doing the waiting again, and show you guys what is the update on that. So guys, now it seems that it is not updating. What I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate back to the Argo CD, and let's try to redeploy that pod. In a way, I'm going to simply remove this particular pod, and let's see it is able to detect anything. So it is going to rerun that particular pod, and might be there is a caching issue or whatever. Let's try to see. the logs of this particular pod and see what we have. So it is going to start that particular container, I mean pod shortly, and uh, and it is going to show us the update on that. So I already shown you how we can simply update to the tag.shell image, and but regarding this, we need to consider some of the stuff. So pod is running, and regarding the logs, okay, let me see again the logs of this particular pod, and you see what it is now saying. It says image updated one, right? And let's see if we're able to do any commits, right? So let's try to refresh this guy, and you see it has now just committed. So this pretty much just stuck in that state. So I need to do a redeployment of that particular spot. So if I navigate back to the section and refresh, let's say only the foo app, and let's see, we should be able to see the updated image. You see the deployment of new pod seems to be in stage. So if I navigate to full staging, it has deployed this new particular pod, and the image of that particular pod is going to be, let's try to wait for a while, and this image, okay, so it's 213. So you need to consider this stuff as well, although might be happening in my case, might be I'm using the kind cluster. So this is our latest, and you see this is the 13th. It has successfully done that. So, but you need to consider these factors as well. I've shown you all the steps. So that is it, guys. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.